You stop getting faster when...
There we go. And that is exactly how we get better.
But so-and-so, I don't care. First question, coach. What makes a fast swimmer?
So I think fast swimming, first of all, begins up here. I think this is the most important thing. I think I come across so many swimmers, especially age group swimmers, who are looking to swim fast. They're so eager to get in a pool and swim fast, but the most important thing is what's going on in here. Your dedication, your commitment to swimming, the things you are doing outside of the pool, not just the things you are doing inside of the pool. So your mentality, how you're looking at training, how you're talking to yourself, if you're positive. I think a lot of those things are just as important, if not more important, what you are doing in the pool.
The single most important thing to being a fast swimmer is how high you ride in the water. I think so many swimmers make the mistake of thinking that they need to train harder, they need to get stronger. You just need to get a better body position, because if you can reduce your drag in the water, you're going to get faster. So many simple things like looking down at the bottom of the pool, or in backstroke inverse, keeping your head back, your hips high in the water. These are the things that actually make you faster immediately. And so many people make the mistake of focusing on all these things that actually take way longer to see any improvement. Like you can train really hard, you can swim 10,000 meters every single day, but if you're training on a bad body position and you don't have the fundamentals right and your technique's not very good, then it doesn't really matter all the training that you're doing anyway.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, I totally agree with everything that you just said, but I think the reason why I said what I said is because what you're saying is also right, but are you willing to learn those things? So body position is 100% the most important thing to swimming, but as a swimmer, as an age group swimmer, I mean, it doesn't matter what age you are, but are you willing to implement those things into your swimming? So you can be the best swimmer in the world, you could be a great athlete, you can be a great age group swimmer, but are you willing to listen to your coach, first of all? Are you willing to then go to the pool, listen to that information, take in that information and implement it into your swimming? So that's why I think the mentality side of things is just as important as all the technical points.
Yeah, it's a holistic perspective, because if you just focus on like meditating and visualizing your swimming, but you never actually train, it's not going to work. And so I think the best swimmers are able to incorporate everything, and they're able to do it, more importantly, do it consistently over time. Because you could have a really good week of training, and you could have a really good week of just being on point with your gym sessions, you're eating really well, you're sleeping really well, but then you go 2 weeks and you're not consistent at all.
Right.
And you just threw away that 1 week that you had. So the best athletes in general are able to do this really consistently over time.
Right. And I really like the point you just made about consistency, and I think that kind of ties into everybody has good days and bad days. So of course you can have the 2 weeks where everything feels great, you feel fantastic, you get to the pool, you're full of energy, everything is going great, and then of course everybody goes through points where things aren't as great. You're going to get tired, you might be doing your long sets, your hard sets, but again, are you a person who's able to do those things and implement those things and keep doing those things when things go south? You know, I think that's just as important. So consistency throughout good days and bad days. So 100%. Faris, you're getting old.
I'm getting older.
At what age do you stop getting faster?
You stop getting faster when you have exhausted all of your options to improve. And what I mean by that is you are no longer trying to find those small pieces of improvement. You're no longer willing to work out in a smarter way. You're no longer willing to improve your technique. You're no longer willing to put in more time in the gym and get physically stronger. You're no longer willing to spend the time and money to recover, to get the massage, to have better nutrition, to get better sleep. That's when you stop getting faster. And so that applies for 99% of people. If you are in that 1% that maximize all of those things in your teenage years and your 20s and your 30s, and now you're listening to this and you're 45 years old, you've been to the Olympic Games, you've trained 20 to 30 hours a week for a decade, you may be past your prime. You may stop getting faster at that point. But for the 99% of people who are listening to this, you can still get faster. You still have more room in the tank. You have something left, and it really comes down to your own prioritization of your goals. Is this something that you really want to focus on? Because you'd be surprised how fast you can go after your prime. And so I use myself as an example. I swam through college. I did all 4 years. I swam the 100 breaststroke. It was my best event. I was 58 point something in the 100 breaststroke. And I've since, over the last 10 years, I've gone under a minute in the 100 breaststroke over 10 times in multiple years. Last year I went best time, 50 breaststroke, best time. even in longer events, if I chose to focus on that event, could probably still go faster. And I think I'm just one example of many people who have gone into their 20s and 30s and 40s, and they've continued to get faster because they just focus on the things that they know they need to do to improve. And again, I wasn't in that 1% of people who train 20 to 30 hours a week from age 15 to 30. If you're in that category, you're trying to maintain. But for everyone else, you've got room to go.
Coach Faris, I think this is a good one.
Yeah.
Do you think running helps swimming?
Woo. Running is probably the best and worst thing a swimmer can do. And it really depends on where you're at in your swimming journey. Like if you're maybe our age, adult, older, and you just want to be fit and you want to go out and explore the world and you want to go to run clubs on Saturdays and have coffee, and by all means, go and run. Enjoy the experience, do the sightseeing, and enjoy it. Just know you're hurting your swimming performance in the process. And if you're really serious about competing and you want to get faster, running could be the worst thing that you do for your body. Because think about it, running is a form of cardio. It's aerobic, but it's very lower body intense. And what you're doing is you're putting a lot of impact on your body. So your feet, when you run, are in a flex position. When you're swimming, especially in the long axis strokes and freestyle and butterfly and backstroke, you're pointing your toes. You want to have a level of like a nimbleness to your frame in the water. And the more you run, the more you tighten up those muscles, you put more impact on your body, and you actually hurt your flexibility in the water. So again, if you're just really focused on living life and you want to go out and explore and do other forms of fitness, do Pilates, do yoga, do running, do weightlifting, do squash, paddle. What's the kids are doing these days? Paddle? They're playing paddle. Do all of that stuff. But if you want to go to the Olympics, no one's running.
Right.
No one's running. They're in the pool, they're in the weight room, they're working on mobility, strength, balance, yoga. These are the things that you need to do if you're looking for performance. So it's a double-edged sword. Running is great for your overall fitness, but it can hurt you in the pool.
Yeah. And I think if your goal is to build endurance, that's you should be doing that in the pool anyway. Like if you're going to run to try and get fitter, well, you must be doing something wrong in the pool, because like swimming is already hard enough. Why are you then having to be running as well to build fitness? So you don't need to run. I don't think you need to run. As a swimmer, again, I mentioned the dryland programming, doing swim specific stuff. You can do those things, but if your goal is to get better at swimming, and like you mentioned, there's no need to run. Like your fitness, your endurance is built in the pool, not by running. So I totally agree.
Let me get this straight. People think that they can go running and that's going to be more effective than swimming in the pool to build their endurance. Think about it. When you run, you can breathe whenever you want. When you swim, you're literally using every single muscle in your entire body and you can't breathe. And you're telling me you're going to go and run to increase your fitness level?